You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Brown versus Brown Overstreet.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Brown, you're here today suing your mother for $2,200 for emotional distress you say she's caused you by not knowing who your biological father is.
Yes,
now, the court has located one possible father and must determine if there is enough evidence to order a paternity test. Ms. Brown Overstreet, you admit to making mistakes as a mother, but claim you shouldn't be held accountable in court for your daughter's pain.
Yes, Your Honor.
You hope there's enough evidence presented today to prove that the man in court today is your daughter's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Brown, how does it feel to be suing your mother?
Not as bad as it felt growing up.
Okay.
Like,
we want the truth in this courtroom.
my mom she wasn't there as much as she should have been there. I asked her on several occasions, do you know who my father could be? My mama just said, I don't know, I don't know. Every time I asked, it was, I don't know, I don't know. She gave me, actually, I have a list of men. It's about 6 or 7 guys.
67?
About 6 or 7.
I said, wait a minute now. Okay, Jerome, please hand me this list. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So she gave you 6 or 7 names.
Yes, Your Honor.
Of possible fathers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are they ranked in order of probability?
No, ma'am, they're not, Your Honor. One of them, we had to do a DNA test, and it turned out he wasn't my father.
And is he listed on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Which one is he?
He's the first one?
The man in the Navy.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes, Your Honor.
Not the father, proven by a DNA test.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the man Clifton Smith, who's in our court today, has not been tested yet.
No, Your Honor. I never knew who could be my father. I didn't know who he could be. I didn't know who he was. I was in and out of foster care on 3 different occasions. Foster care wasn't so good. You know, I had 4 brothers and a sister. I didn't know where they were. They got split up too. My grandmother got us back. She got sick. I missed 3 months of school, got kicked out. I was in alternative school. I got kicked out because my grandma got sick and I had to take care of her.
And so what level of school did you finish, hon?
9th grade.
You went to the 9th grade.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you had to take care of your grandmother.
Yes, ma'am, and take care of my brothers.
Ms. Brown Overstreet, how does it feel to hear your daughter speak with such pain in her heart? I mean, it's difficult to even say to another mother, but that your daughter blames you.
I feel like my daughter hates me because of the fact that I wasn't always there, and I didn't have a handbook on how to be a parent. I had my kids young, and it was 6, I have 6 of them, so it wasn't like it was just one child. I had a hard time trying to be a mother. I didn't know how to raise my kids, and when I lost custody of them, I tried my best to get them back, and I kind of gave up on myself. I can admit that I was young and I was wild, and I was kind of promiscuous, so I did not know who her father was.
Did you approach any of those men and say, I'm pregnant and I think you're the father, or you just left them all alone?
I just left them all alone.
So, Ms. Brown, please tell the court, what was life like without a father, growing up without a father in your life?
Your Honor, it was hard. I mean, I can barely sit up and describe how hard my life has been. Not only without a father, without my mom. I remember I was about 6 or 7. I had my oldest brother. He was about 3 years older than me. He taught me how to ride a bike. He taught me how to tie my shoe, how to spell. He taught me basically everything I know. And I admit she did a little of some of what she was supposed to, but I guess she felt that giving me money would erase all the past memories that I had because of her. She used to give me money all the time. Money don't pay for, money is not gonna pay for what I went through. I was tormented as a child.
How, you say you were tormented?
Tormented.
Living without your father?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your mother?
Yes, Your Honor.
You say she's caused you extreme emotional distress?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell your mother how you feel.
I feel like it's a possibility that my life could have been better if I knew who my dad was. And maybe he could have saved me from everything that happened. And maybe I wouldn't have never went to foster care
I'm sorry. I never
if he
meant,
had been in my life.
I never meant for that to happen to you. But I gave up on myself, so I didn't even know what you was going through.
But when you have kids, sometimes you have to give up on yourself to do for your children.
I understand that, and I'm sorry.
Did you hear your mother say she was sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe that she is?
Somewhat I do.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So, when you heard about Mr. Smith,
Yes, Your Honor.
take me to that day when you found out about him.
Your Honor, I was working at my hometown, and this guy just show up, and he was like staring at me. I'm like, who is this guy? When I went and got my manager, that's when he tells me, oh, hey, I'm your dad. You're my daughter. Mm-hmm. So I asked my mom when I get off work, I say, it's this guy that came up to my job, Mr. Smith. I told her his name. She said, oh yeah, that might be, it's a possibility that he's your dad. Now, I'm 18 now, I'm grown. Out of all these years, why is he trying to come into my life now? Why are you just now telling me that it's a possibility that he could be my father?
So, were you angry with your mother that she hadn't ever mentioned Mr. Smith's name? Or were you angry with Mr. Smith for trying to come and find you after all these years? Or both?
I was mad with both of them.
Well, he's here today. I'd like to hear from him. Jerome, please escort Mr. Smith into the courtroom. Hello, Mr. Smith.
How you doing?
Thank you for joining us today. Please tell the court about the first day you met Ms. Brown.
We go back a long time. So when I called her, she was like that she was trying to find the father of our daughter. I said, wouldn't it be funny if I was the father? And she was like, oh yeah, I forgot all about you. I'm like, you forgot all about me. Then I was adding up the days. If I have a child out there, I want to know. So when I pulled up, I get out the car and my cousin pointed her out, so I was looking at her. And so she came up and I said something to her first, and she was smiling at me like I was trying to flirt with her or something. So I'm like, yo, whoa, hold up here. I might be your father. You busy trying to flirt with me.
Right.
You know, cut it out right there. So as soon as I told that, her expression just changed. I mean, the smile just wiped off her face. Now I'm getting daggers thrown at me. Now I told her I'm gonna see her tonight, that this ain't over.
And you are hopeful. You truly are hopeful.
I love her already.
Oh.
You know, it's my big knucklehead. I want her in my life, and I'm sorry that I wasn't there, but it wasn't my fault, you know? And I was listening to what she was saying, what she went through, and it bothered me because I wasn't the father to take care of her, to do what I need to do. So that bothers me a lot, you know? If she's my child, I should have been there. No child should be without their parent, you know? And it bothers me. You know? It was a fling when I got with her that summer. And she had a boyfriend at the time, you know. We got together, it was more than once, and I went back home for the summer. I came back for the winter vacation, and I saw her, and I'm like, wow, you look a little fat there. She says to me, I ain't fat, I'm pregnant. Next thing came out of my mouth, well, who's the father? She said, don't worry about it ain't you.
So she told you it was not you.
So that's why I didn't think nothing of it no more. You know, I really didn't. Because like I said, I tried to stand up right then and there. I did what I did, and I had to just be a man about the whole thing and take care of my responsibilities. And that's why I'm here. You know, take care of what's mine, that's all.
Good, that's good to hear. You stated in your court papers, though, that you have reason to have doubt.
Oh.
And you just stated in court today that she had a boyfriend during the time you slept with her.
Oh, yes. Okay, my reason is when I was 10 years old, I hurt myself really bad. I got the picture evidence to show you. Hurt myself really bad.
What happened?
Well, you know what a folding couch is? A couch that turned into a bed?
Yes.
Well, I was folding it back into a couch. My underwear got hooked on a spring, and I yanked it, but it went in a lot more of my underwear and just ripped everything open.
Oh, goodness.
I got,
Let me see that evidence,
not only
Jerome.
that, there-
I didn't remember him. That was the problem. It was horrible. So I didn't remember even having sex with him. So it wasn't my fault that I didn't remember. He probably remembered it, but I didn't remember it.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
This is a photo of your genitalia,
Oh, God, Your Honor. Your Honor.
I know that's funny.
and your concern is that you're unable to have children because of this injury.
Well, the doctor told me when I get old, I might not be able to.
So you were told by a medical professional you may not be able to have
they
children.
Said may not 100%. May not. It's not 100%
May.
to me. Exactly.
What we need to do is to determine whether or not a paternity test needs to be ordered in light of this evidence regarding your injury. So the court has asked a medical expert to come and share some light on this. Jerome, will you please escort Dr. Gator into the courtroom? Dr. Gator is from the Rise Men's Medical Clinic,
Up on the witness stand.
and she's a board-certified family medical physician. Hi, Dr. Gator. Thank you so much for being with us. So, you've reviewed the evidence in this case.
Yes.
Mr. Smith contends that he had a serious injury, and the doctor told him he may not be able to have children because of this. We are trying to determine whether it's even appropriate to order a DNA test. Can you shed light on the likelihood and the injury?
I believe I can. It's absolutely possible, in my opinion, for Mr. Smith or someone with a testicular injury such as him to father a child. Nature often gives us two of what's important, and here's why. On average, a man releases anywhere between 50 million and 1 billion sperm at a time. So if one testicle isn't functioning, you can cut that number in half to say 25 million. Fertility doesn't become an issue until that number drops below 10 million. So based on the numbers, it's definitely possible for someone with a testicular injury to still father a child as long as the swimmers are normal and healthy.
All right. So, in this case, you therefore could potentially be Ms. Brown's father. And for this reason, the court is going to order a DNA test and order you to submit to that test so we can get this young woman the answers she deserves. Jerome, please escort them out of the courtroom. You're going to head to the lab immediately. Court is adjourned. I'll see you back here. We're back in session in the case of Brown versus Brown Overstreet. Welcome back, everyone. So you've submitted to the DNA testing, am I correct?
Yes.
Then I have the results here for you today. Before I get to those results, I have to ask you what your hopes are for today. Ms. Brown?
I hope that when I leave here, I have answers to what I have been trying to find answers to my whole life. I also hope that I can get back into a GED program or any kind of program to help me get my diploma or either my GED. And I also hope to get a better communication, you know, between me and my mom.
All right. Jerome, the results, please. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows.
Your Honor, could I hold her hand? Could I go hold her?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Come on, let me check.
In the case of Brown versus Brown Overstreet, when it comes to 22-year-old Shantia Brown, it has been determined by this court. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. When it comes to 22-year-old Shantia Brown, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Smith, you are not Shantia's father. I'm sorry. Ms. Brown, you okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
How about you, Mr. Smith? I know you had hopes.
So I still love her. It's cool. She's still my baby, right? You know I love you.
It's difficult sometimes when you want to give people the result they want to hear. That would seem to wipe away all the pain of the past and everything that they've been through, and yet I'm unable to do so because the truth is absolute. It's what it is. Ms. Brown, as hurt as I know you are, and as hurt as I know you've been, I don't see any intention on the part of your mother to cause you emotional distress, nor have you proven to the court that you've suffered any real physical damage because of this. I truly believe she may not, in fact, know who your father is, and for that reason, I have to deny your claim. Judgment for the defendant. Mom, you're gonna need to stick by your daughter,
Yes, Your Honor.
and you're gonna need to jog that memory and see if you can find out. Think about it. I always tell people, at this point where we are now, she's 22 years old, there's no shame in your game. If you need us, we're here. And Ms. Brown, I'd like to see you in my chambers, okay? Court is adjourned.